members. My name is Marvin Sutton. 14 years ago, do you remember where you were 14 years ago? So let me digress here and go back here. 14 years ago, I stood right here. 2008, we were about to elect first an African-American president. In the audience were activists, President Obama activists. I educated them on the process of this two-step, the number of points that were awarded for delegates. I went on to become a national delegate so we can get him the nomination for the party. 2012, 4 years later, I was a national delegate to ensure that he secured the nominations, become the party candidate. So let me tell you a little about myself. I'm originally from Southwest Georgia, grew up poor, was raised by a single mom, the youngest of 8 kids. We needed help. We struggled. We grew up in housing project, on welfare. The check never covered a lot. Being the youngest of the kids, you got what was left. I struggled in high school. We were guaranteed free breakfast or free lunch. There was no guarantee I would get a free dinner. Some days we had just one piece of chicken, and I struggled in school. I was a low C student. Now let's fast forward to 2000. In 2000, I graduated from Tarrant County College, 4.0 graduate. It's amazing what just the basic necessities that we take for granted have on our ability to learn, ability to grow, ability to thrive. In 2005, I graduated from UTA, magna cum laude, hold a degree in accounting, successfully passed the CPA exam. But my journey didn't end there. I became an air traffic controller after serving 8 years in the United States Air Force. Took an oath to protect and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. The Bible says, greater love than this has no man to lay down his life for a friend. And I was willing to do that on behalf of this thing we call democracy, an ideal, a concept. But I served as an air traffic controller for 30 years, and I do outreach at schools. I give back to the community. So when I go into career day and ask kids, you know what a police officer looked like? You know what a doctor looked like? Do you know what your air traffic controller looks like? The goal is to get them into STEM activities such as air traffic control. I served for 30 years, and I'm one of the few that you'll meet that worked during 9/11 where we had a serious charge. We were charged with securing the friendly skies. We didn't know what airplanes were compromised. Over 4,000 was airborne. We recovered 4,000 airplanes in less than 4 hours. That was one of the greatest feats that the air traffic controller workforce has accomplished since its inception. Once I completed my tour of duty as an air traffic controller, I ran for Arlington City Council. But I had run in the past. 2007, I ran, I lost. 2009, I ran, I lost. 2011, I ran, I lost. 3 strikes, I had to go back and reflect. Didn't run in 2013. 2015, I ran and lost. 2017, I ran, I won, but I didn't win the elections. There's a thing that's called a majority and a plurality. Majority means you have to have more than 50% to determine the outcome of the election. A plurality means that the person with the most votes win the election. I forced a recount. I lost by 2 votes in 2017. 2 votes, 2017. 2019, I was elected to Arlington City Council, the 4th person to hold a position for the single-member district since its inception, the first African-American to represent that district, which is the largest and most diverse district in the city of Arlington. Here's some things that we accomplished in Arlington that would be really great for the county. We created what's called a Unity Council, national recognized. It made 35 recommendations about disparity that goes on in our city. Things that we should have been aware of that we weren't aware of. We have implemented over 95% of those recommendations from police and criminal justice, housing and education. I was part of that. But we did another thing. We've got to stimulate our economy. See, the problem with our social issues is wealth. If everybody made the same amount of money, had access to the same resources, we wouldn't have the crime problem we have. We wouldn't have the social issues we have in our community. The goal is to stimulate and bring those jobs. We did that in the city of Arlington. We did a public-private partnership with the Texas Rangers Cordish Families, which is responsible for the Lowe's hotels. That triggered $1.3 billion to Tarrant County and the city of Arlington. We did that. I believe in public safety. I authored an amendment because we have gas drilling in the cities to push back on House Bill 40. House Bill 40 is a state law that says that cities cannot regulate gas drilling or fracking. We've changed that. I made sure our underserved communities were protected. My name is Marvin Sutton. I'll be honored to have your vote. I have a passion to serve and a commitment to serve. But here's 3 things I want to do here in a nutshell. I want to make sure we empower our communities. I want to make sure you have a seat at the table. I want to make sure that we enhance our services that are provided throughout the county. And finally, I want to improve your quality of life. That's my goal. That's my prayers. That's my hopes. And I'm going to leave you with one thought. Leave you with one thought. To whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is given, much is required. And I'm required to provide a service. I'm required to help my fellow man. I'm going to give you my phone number here. I always share it out to anybody who wants to call. If I can be a resource to you, to the church, to the community, call me. My cell number is 817-602-0644. That's 817-602-0644. My name is Marvin Sutton. I'll be honored to have your support.